Welcome in here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Thank you for joining us on this Friday evening. A lot of y'all have plans. Y'all probably got dinner plans and watching Live Impact News. Thank you for watching us while you're out at dinner. Or maybe you are out at a live event. Maybe you want to see some Christmas things, get into the holiday spirit. Maybe you're in downtown Concord. It's happening right now, live at downtown Concord. It's a tree lighting ceremony taking place, some live music, some fun activities for the kids, Winter Wonderland. Man, it's a great time. I believe Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus are going to be there. So, look, you still got time. It just got underway within the last couple of hours. Again, food, fireworks, all that, and a great night, a warm night. You don't even have to have the jacket on. You can have a thin sweatshirt, long sleeve, maybe a t-shirt if you're feeling great. But again, this is happening in downtown Concord. Tree lighting ceremony happens every year. Kick off the holidays. We are exactly 1 week from Black Friday. Can you believe it? Less than a week away from Thanksgiving. So the holidays are here, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so we'll continue to keep an eye on that there in downtown Concord. But we want to get to something that played out earlier this afternoon, and that is the meeting between President Donald Trump and New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani. A lot of talk going into this meeting. Let's get you now to the Oval Office in case you missed it.
Some of my views have changed, and we had discussions on some things. I'm not going to discuss what they were, but that I feel very confident that he can do a very good job. I think he's going to be. I think he is going to surprise some conservative people, actually, and some very liberal people. He won't surprise them because they already like him.
And Mr. Mamdani, it sounds like you had a productive discussion, but just days ago you referred to President Trump as a despot who had betrayed the country. You said you would be his worst nightmare and accused him of having a fascist agenda. Are you planning to retract any of these remarks in order to improve your relationship?
I think both President Trump and I, we are very clear about our positions and our views, and what I really appreciate about the President is that the meeting that we had focused not on places of disagreement, which there are many, and also focused on the shared purpose that we have in serving New Yorkers. And frankly, that is something that could transform the lives of the 8.5 million people who are currently struggling under a cost of living crisis, with 1 in 4 living in poverty. And the meeting came back again and again to what it could look like to lift those New Yorkers out of struggle and start to deliver them a city that they could do more than just struggle to afford it, but actually start to live in it.
And I've been called much worse than a despot, so it's not that insulting. But maybe I think he'll change his mind after we get to working together. Yes, please.
Mr. President, I'm Rashad from MTV Lebanon.
Good.
I would like to ask you a question about the Middle East regarding you said that Hezbollah in Lebanon is not in a good position. And Lebanon now is the final unresolved after Gaza and Syria. Given your assessment, like what do you say for the Lebanese today? It's the independent state of Lebanon. And what is your next move to push toward disarmament?
Sure. Well, we are pushing for total disarmament of Hamas and, frankly, everybody else. And we actually have peace in the Middle East. As you know, the King of Saudi Arabia just left yesterday. We had some great meetings, and he's made a contribution toward the United States of more than $1 trillion. We have now over $20 trillion coming in. No country has ever had anything like that, not even close. If you go to $2 trillion or $1 trillion, it's a lot. We have $20 or $21 trillion. I think that Hezbollah has been a problem in Lebanon, big problem. We're working with Lebanon. We're working with everybody in the Middle East. That's another thing I think we have in common. We want to see peace in the Middle East, and we actually have now for the first time peace in the Middle East after 3,000 years. And now we're going to refine it, and I think you're going to see some very positive things happen.
There is a potential to invite the Lebanese president.
Oh, sure. Oh, I would do that, absolutely. And if the mayor would like to be here for that meeting, because I know he feels very strongly. I think you feel very, very strongly about peace in the Middle East. I think
we desperately want it, and that's something that I shared with the president, that when I spoke to New Yorkers who had voted for the president last November on Hillside Avenue and Fordham Road, I asked them why. I heard again and again two major reasons. One was that they wanted an end to forever wars. They wanted an end to the taxpayer dollars we had funding violations of human rights, and they wanted to address the cost of living crisis. And I appreciated the chance to discuss both of those things.
He said a lot of my voters actually voted for him, and
One in 10.
And I'm okay with that.
I have to stand as well.
I'll do that. I'll sign it. Give it to me. I'll sign it in a minute. That's pretty good.
Mr. President,
Yeah, please.
you threatened to send federal troops to New York City. You both have differences when it comes to ICE agents
Right.
in New York City. Mr. Mamdani, you called ICE a rogue government entity. I wonder how you reconcile your differences on both of those issues.
Well, I think we're going to work them out, and I think that if we have known murderers and known drug dealers and some very bad people, we want to get them out. And the mayor wants to have peace. We discussed this at great length, actually, maybe more than anything else. He wants to have a safe New York. Ultimately, a safe New York is going to be a great New York. If it's not safe, no matter how well we do with pricing and with anything else, we can talk about anything you want. If you don't have safe streets, it's not going to be a success. So we're going to work together. We're going to make sure that if there are horrible people there, we want to get them out. I think he wants to get them out maybe more than I do. So we'll work together. We discussed it at great length. Yes, please.
Yeah, two questions, if I may. One for you, Mr. President, from BBC in a second. But first of all, for the mayor-elect. You're both from different parts of the political spectrum. You're both populists, though, and I just wondered to what extent the president's campaign style, his techniques, his social media use inspired any part of your campaign.
Well, I actually told the president that, so much of the focus of our campaign has been on the cost of living crisis. And when we asked those New Yorkers who had voted for the president, when we saw an increase in his numbers in New York City, that came back to the same issue: cost of living, cost of living, cost of living. And they spoke about the cost of groceries, the cost of rent, the cost of Con Ed, the cost of childcare. And too often politicians are looking to lecture to New Yorkers what they should care about as opposed to listen. And when we spoke to those voters who voted for President Trump, we heard them speak about cost of living. We focused on that same cost of living, and that's where I am really looking forward to delivering for New Yorkers in partnership with the president on the affordability agenda.
And I think we have to work a little bit. We talked about Con Edison. We have to work a little bit on getting the prices because, we've gotten fuel prices way down, but it hasn't shown up in Con Edison. And we're going to have to talk to them. If we're sending them fuel at a much lower price than it was a year ago, which is true, we have to get Con Edison to start lowering their rates.
Absolutely.
And if I may, last week you told me you were pushing ahead with your plans to sue BBC for up to $5 billion. You were going to speak to Prime Minister Starmer as well. Is there any progress or any updates on those issues?
Well, we get along very well with the Prime Minister. We made a deal with UK. I like him. He's a fine person. And, I think they have some big energy problems. They've got windmills all over the place. They're going to have to start using other methods because their energy is out of control. Talking about in the UK, it's out of control. And he's got that problem. He's got a big immigration problem, as you know, and he's got a big energy problem. And we talk about it. He's a good man. Prime Minister's a good man.
You had a chance to speak this week.
I haven't spoken this week.
Have you spoken to President Zelensky, or do you intend to
Who?
President Zelensky about your plan? Have you meet with him?
I've spoken with their people. We have a plan. It's horrible what's happening. It's a war that should have never happened. It would have never happened if I was president, and it's a shame. And I thought they should have acted quicker. But it's a cold winter, and a lot of the you talk about utilities, but a lot of the big energy-producing plants have been under attack, to put it mildly, to put it nicely. We have a way of getting peace, or we think we have a way of getting peace. He's going to have to approve it. Just so sad, so many people. Last month they lost 25,000 soldiers. This is something, we haven't seen anything like this since the Second World War. And they're averaging 6,000 or 7,000 a week between the two of them, dead soldiers. And it goes on, and I think they're getting reasonably close. But I don't want to predict. I would have said that would have been one of my early ones. I did 8 peace deals of countries, including in India, Pakistan. You could even go, in fact, they're coming here in a week or two, go to the Congo and Rwanda. That was 10 million people dead. and we worked something out on that. But so many, and the one I thought would have been, for me, because I have a very good relationship with President Putin, I thought that would have been maybe quicker, but it does take two to tango, and now you just see all the death. And it doesn't affect us other than the fact that we don't want to see all those people that really it's on the other side of the ocean. It's a war that should have never happened. It did happen. I blame the person also sitting right behind this desk. This is a war that should have never happened, and it wouldn't have happened if I were president. But we're trying to save a lot of lives. They're losing 25, think of that, 25,000 lives over the last short period of time. That's Ukrainian and Russian. And it's a shame.
What happens if
I want to ask the mayor-elect about a House resolution just passed overwhelmingly to condemn socialism, including with 86 Democrats, all of House Dem leadership, and the minority leader, Hakeem Jeffries, despite his endorsement of you. What's your reaction to that?
I have to be honest with you, I focused very little on resolutions. Frankly, I've been focusing...
Condemn socialism.
I understand. I think the focus is on the work at hand. I can tell you I am someone who is a democratic socialist. I've been very open about that. And I know there might be differences about ideology, but the place of agreement is the work that needs to be done to make New York City affordable. That's what I look forward to.
And I want to clarify your answer to Stephen Nelson. He asked about your comment calling the president a fascist, and your answer was, both President Trump and I have been clear about our positions and our views. Are you affirming that you think President Trump is a fascist?
I've spoken about...
That's okay. You can just say yes.
Okay.
So,
All right.
okay. It's easier. It's easier than explaining it. I don't mind.
And Mr. President, I wanted to ask you also about this Ukraine plan.
Yeah.
President Zelensky said today that his country would risk either giving up a partner or giving up its dignity. There's been criticism that this deal...
You mean he doesn't like it?
It's unclear. He was sort of
Well,
tenuous.
he'll have to like it, and if he doesn't like it, then they should just keep fighting, I guess.
The suggestion that you made, though, was that if he doesn't accept it, that the U.S. would pull back its support for Ukraine. Is that
Well, at some point he's going to have to accept something. He hasn't accepted. You remember right in the Oval Office not so long ago, I said, you don't have the cards. Don't forget, I inherited this war. This war never would have happened. I inherited this war. And I thought he should have made a deal a year ago, 2 years ago. The ultimate deal would have been if it never started. That would have been the good deal. That could have been done too if you had the right president, but you didn't have the right president.
Mr. President, cost of living is something that you and Mr. Mamdani seem to agree on.
Right.
Democrats have run New York City for a long time, Mr. Mamdani. Do you see Democrat policy specifically as being a problem? And I'd like that to be a question that both of you could answer in New York City.
Look, I think that there are many things in our city where we have to own the responsibility of it, things that existed long before the president was the president. And those are also part of the message of our campaign, was to take on a broken politics of the past. And I ran against a number of candidates who represented different versions of that past. And what we found time and again is that working people were left behind in the politics of our city. And what we're looking to do is put those people right back at the heart of our politics so that we don't have a situation where we're in the wealthiest city in the history of the world, and yet 1 in 5 can't even afford $2.90 for a Metro card.
Mr. President.
We had some interesting conversation, and some of his ideas really are the same ideas that I have. But a big thing on cost, the new word is affordability. Another word is just groceries. It's sort of an old-fashioned word, but it's very accurate. And they're coming down high. They were, we had, both of us, we had the highest inflation in the history of our country the last 4 years under the Biden administration, and we've got inflation down now to a normal number. It's going to go even a little bit lower than that. Katie, do you have something in a bit?
Mr. President, thank you so much. Mr. Mamdani often talks about New York City being covered by international law, that they will follow international law. He doesn't often talk about the U.S. Constitution. What is your response to that?
Well, I don't know what you're referring to in terms of it could be covered by international law, local law. It's covered by a lot of laws, but it's covered by U.S. law. Are you referring to anything in particular?
He just says that they're a city that endorses and enforces international law. that at odds with?
No, I don't know. Would you want to respond?
Yeah, I think what I've shared with the president is our desire to not only follow the laws of our own city, laws that protect New Yorkers, but also a desire for consistency in our politics across the board. And that's something that we've talked about and something that I know many New Yorkers want.
We work with ICE. We work with ICE.
We discussed ICE and New York City, and I spoke about how the laws that we have in New York City allow for New York City government to speak to the federal administration for about 170 serious crimes. The concerns that many New Yorkers have are around the enforcement of immigration laws on New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs, and most recently we're talking about a mother and her 2 children, how this has very little to do with what that is.
Mr. Montani,
What we did is we discussed crime, more than ICE per se. We discussed crime, and he doesn't want to see crime, and I don't want to see crime, and I have very little doubt that we're not going to get along on that issue. He wants to, and he said some things that were very interesting as to housing construction, and he wants to see houses go up. He wants to see a lot of houses created, a lot of apartments built, etc. And you know, we actually people would be shocked, but I want to see the same thing.
Mr. Montani, anti-Israel protesters.
Jack?
Mr. President, I want to know one of the policies as well that Mayor-elect Mondami talked a number of times about on the campaign was shifting the tax burden for property taxes from what he called minority communities to white-based communities and putting more taxes on white people. I also noticed that in your acceptance speech you didn't mention anything about America or Christians or white people in general, and so I didn't know if that was one of the policies that you guys had spoken about.
We focused on affordability. We focused on the cost of living crisis. What I will say is that I am very much interested in property tax reform, because what we see right now in New York City is a system that is so inequitable that it can't even stand up in court. And the president and I spoke about the importance of not only building more housing, but also making sure that regulation of housing is something that is manageable to actually get through and not the cause of yet another weight that we see in our
But to be
city.
clear, you're continuing this idea of race-based property taxes.
No, to be very clear,
That's what you said.
no, the use of the term was a description of neighborhoods, not a description of intent.
So you intend to tax the whiter neighborhoods more?
No, we intend to create a fair property tax system because we want a New York City that is not only fair and equitable, but also one that every New Yorker can afford.
Mr. Montani, anti-Israel protesters just targeted synagogue.
Please, God.
Mr. Montani, anti-Israel protesters just targeted a synagogue in New York. Are you concerned about Jewish New Yorkers feeling welcome and safe in the city? And President Trump, you threatened to cut off federal funding to New York City. What policies would prompt you to do that? Would that be city-run grocery stores? Would it be something else?
Well, I think if we didn't get along, whether it's cut off or just make it a little bit difficult or not give as much, we want to see, I use the term, we don't want good money going after bad. And we don't want that to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. I did say that, subject to what policies are being set. We had a meeting today that actually surprised me. He wants to see no crime. He wants to see housing being built. He wants to see rents coming down, all things that I agree with. Now, we may disagree how we get there. The rent coming down, I think one of the things I really gleaned very much today, he'd like to see him come down, ideally, by building a lot of additional housing.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate way. He agrees with that, and so do I. But if I read the newspapers and the stories, I don't hear that. But I heard him say it today, and I think that's a very positive step. No, I don't expect. I expect to be helping him, not hurting him. A big help, because I want New York City to be great. Look, I love New York City. It's where I come from. I spent a lot of years there. Now I'm right here. We took a big setback with the mayor that we had, named de Blasio. I thought it was a tremendous setback for the city. I think this mayor can do some things that are going to be really great.
Mr. President,
Yeah, okay, how about you? Go ahead, please.
You're a billionaire. You have a different address nowadays than you used to, but you used to call New York City home. Would you feel comfortable living in New York City under a Mamdani administration?
Yeah, I would. I really would. Especially after the meeting. Absolutely.
What makes you comfortable?
We agree on a lot more than I would have thought. I think I want him to do a great job, and we'll help him do a great job. He may have different views, but in many ways, we were discussing when Bernie Sanders was out of the race, I picked up a lot of his votes, and people had no idea because he was strong on not getting ripped off in trade and lots of the things that I've practiced and been very successful on. Tariffs, a lot of things. Bernie Sanders and I agreed on much more than people thought. And when he was put out of the race, I think quite unfairly, if you want to know the truth, many of the Bernie Sanders voters voted for me. And I felt very comfortable, frankly, in seeing that and saying that. And, you know, it just turned out to be a statistical truth. But, no, I feel very comfortable. I would feel very, very comfortable being in New York, and I think much more so after the meeting. Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a question for you, but a very quick one for the Mayor. Why did you fly here? Aren't trains greener?
I will use every form of transit, and I want to make sure that they're all affordable in New York City, and that's why making buses fast and free is a centerpiece of our campaign.
There is a bus that goes.
Well, but I know, but if he flew, that's a lot quicker too. You know, I mean, he's working very hard. For him to be, that's a very long drive. I'll stick up for you. You know, the plane takes you 30 minutes, and driving takes you a
And
long
Mr.
time.
President, I was wondering if you could clear up some confusion around a Washington Post report. There was this explosive report that the Coast Guard is no longer going to characterize swastikas and nooses as hate symbols. DHS called that a lie and fake news. Can you clear up?
I don't know anything about it. When was this written?
I think yesterday.
Well, look, the Coast Guard's an incredible group of people. I know them very well. We just ordered a lot of new Coast Guard cutters, beautiful, the most magnificent ship. They look like yachts with lots of guns on them. So I don't know. I haven't seen any report like that, but certainly we want them to remain a great force, and they are.
Mr. President, and you did a piece in all the 9 months around the world. I would like to ask Mr. Mamdani, you've accused the U.S. government of committing genocide in Gaza while President Trump was working on peace. Why that?
I've spoken about the Israeli government committing genocide, and I've spoken about our government funding it. And I shared with the president in our meeting about the concern that many New Yorkers have of wanting their tax dollars to go towards the benefit of New Yorkers and their ability to afford basic dignity. And what we see right now is we're in the 9th consecutive year of more than 100,000 school children being homeless in our city. And there's a desperate need not only for the following of human rights, but also the following through on the promises we've made New Yorkers. And I appreciated the meeting we had and the work that we can do.
Do you agree that President Trump did do a peace and work hard to make the peace? Because he worked hard to do the peace in the Middle East and everywhere. Do you agree with that?
I appreciate all efforts towards peace, and I shared with President Trump that when I spoke to Trump voters on Hillside Avenue, including one of whom was a pharmacist that spoke about how President Trump's father actually went to that pharmacy not too far from Jamaica Estates, that people were tired of seeing our tax dollars fund endless wars. And I also believe that we have to follow through on the international human rights, and I know that still today those are being violated, and that continues to be work that has to be done no matter where we're speaking of.
Mr. President, thank you, Mr. President. Do you view the mayor-elect as the true leader of the Democrat Party? And do you think Leader Schumer and Leader Jeffries, have to follow his lead?
Well, look, I hope they have great leaders. This is a man that right now I think is focused on New York City. I really think he has a chance to do a great job. We're going to help him, but I really think he has a chance to do a great job. But I'll let you answer that. You consider yourself the leader of the Democrats. I think it's more appropriate for him.
I consider myself the next mayor of New York City, and I keep my horizons firmly on New York City, and I appreciate the meeting with the president, which focused again on the 5 boroughs and whether New Yorkers could afford to live there.
By the way, being the mayor of New York City is a big deal.
Absolutely.
I always said, one of the things I would have loved to be someday is the mayor of New York City. Being the mayor of New York, and especially now, because I think you're at really a turning point, one way or the other. It could go great, or it can go in a different direction. And I think you really have a chance to make it great. I appreciate what counts.
Mr. President, you say you love New York City. Mr. Mamdani, does New York City love President Trump?
New York City loves a future that is affordable, and I can tell you that there were more New Yorkers who voted for President Trump in the most recent presidential election because of that focus on cost of living, and I'm looking forward to working together to deliver on that affordability agenda.
I got a lot of votes. One more. Go ahead. 1 or 2 more. Go ahead. I tell you, the press has eaten this thing up. I've had a lot of meetings with the heads of major countries. Nobody cared. This meeting, that you people have gone crazy. Outside you have hundreds of people waiting. This is just a small little group. For some reason, the press has found this to be a very interesting meeting. the biggest people in the world, they come over from countries nobody cares. But they did care about this meeting, and it was a great meeting. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. President, I was going to ask you exactly that. Why do you think there's so much more, so much excitement around this than in some form?
Because I think he's different. All right, I think he's different, and that can be in a very positive way, but I think he's different than, your typical guy, runs, wins, becomes mayor maybe, and nothing exciting. Because he has a chance to really do something great for New York. New York is at a very critical point, and he does need the help of the federal government to really succeed, and we're going to be helping him. But he's different than, your average candidate. He came out of nowhere. I said he has a great campaign manager standing over there. He came out of nowhere. Would you start off at 1 or 2? And then I watched. I said, who is this guy? He was at 1, then he was at 3, then he was at 5, then he was at 9. Then he went up to 17. I said, let's get a little bit interesting, right? And then all of a sudden he wins a primary that nobody expected he was going to win. It's a great tribute. I mean, it's an amazing thing that he did.
And I'll just add one thing to what the president said. Is one thing I also appreciated is in our meeting to appreciate a portrait of FDR and the incredible work that was done with the New Deal, and also in thinking about what it can look like when the federal government and New York City government work together to deliver on affordability. It can be transformative.
We have a great portrait of FDR that I found in the vaults that was missing for years. I found it and I put it up. He's a Democrat, to the best of my knowledge. He's a Democrat. And when the mayor saw that portrait, he said, "Sir, do you mind if I have a picture taken by that portrait?" It's an amazing portrait. I hope the picture comes out good. But it's an amazing portrait in the cabinet room. So he's a big fan of the New Deal, I guess, and of FDR. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. President. You said that you both spoke about crime.
Yeah.
There are many police officers set to come off the rolls at the end of this year in New York City. Are you going to allow those police to be replaced with police officers, actual cops? And are you going to require that happens? Would there be some consequences?
Well, I hope it happens, but again, that's going to be ultimately the mayor's decision.
What's your answer?
Is that I look forward to delivering public safety with the NYPD, and I've said over the course of our campaign that we have the number of police officers today. They are the ones that's budgeted about 35,000 head count. And I think the key thing is that we have to make it easier for police to focus on police work, not ask them to respond to 200,000 mental health calls a year.
So is that a reduction from what you're at right now? Are you committing to maintaining the same level?
I've committed over the course of the campaign to maintain the 35,000. That's the head count that we had through the campaign.
And not replace them with caseworkers, social work?
No, I've said that's the head count that we want. What we need to do is make sure they can focus on serious crime.
And he just retained a great police commissioner, I believe, right?
Yes, we did. Commissioner Fish.
If the newspapers are correct.
That one they're correct about.
He retained, I think, somebody that is she's a good friend of some of the people in my family, of Ivanka, and they say she's really good, really competent, and he just retained her, so that's a good sign.
Are there still topics that you see that you're disagreeing on in the future, and do you think you'll have more meetings like this?
There will be topics that we disagree on. I think we'll probably come to a conclusion, and ultimately he'll convince me, or I'll convince him. It's for the good of New York. Ultimately, it's for the good of New York. I don't care about affiliations or parties or anything else. I want to see if this city could be unbelievable, if he could be a spectacular success, I'd be very happy.
Do you think you guys will meet more in the future, too?
Excuse?
Do you think you'll meet again in the future, throughout the administration?
I think we will. Yeah. I think we will. I hope we do. I enjoyed the meeting. We had a great meeting. Please.
Mr. President, Republican Elise Stefanik has campaigned multiple times by calling Zohran Mamdani a jihadist. Do you think you're standing next to a jihadist right now in the Oval Office?
No, I don't. But she's out there campaigning, and you say things sometimes in a campaign.
Isn't that sort of?
She's a very capable person, but you really have to ask her about that. But no, I don't particularly. I think I met with a man who's a very rational person. I met with a man who really wants to see New York be great again, and I can say again, because New York was great. When I came down to Washington initially, the city was so hot. It was doing great. We were having some telltale signs of problems. We had a mayor that was not doing a great job, but still, it was moving along. And it went bad. It really went, pretty bad. And he can I think it's been at lower points, but it went pretty bad. I think he can bring it back. Now the question is, will he bring it back all the way? Will he bring it back greater than ever before? Which is, I guarantee, that's his wish. I think he wants to make it greater than ever before. And if he can, we'll be out there cheering. I'll be cheering for him. Okay, thank you very much, everybody.
You chose not to answer the question about sitting on the front desk.
Thank you very much.
Oh, no, I care very deeply about Jewish safety, and I look forward to rooting out anti-Semitism across the 5 boroughs and protecting Jewish New Yorkers and every New Yorker who calls the City Hall.
All right, so that was that meeting between New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani and President Donald Trump there in the Oval Office from earlier this afternoon. All right, so we are going to take a quick break. We'll be back in 2 minutes, but before we take that quick break, I want to mention today marks 3 years since a Cornelius girl went missing. Her name is Madalena Kochikari. She was last seen, again, 3 years ago today. The last known footage of the 11-year-old is surveillance video of her getting off her school bus around 5 p.m. on November 21st, 2022. It took her parents 3 weeks to report her missing. For 3 years now, the Cornelius community has come together praying for her to be found. The case surrounding her disappearance has taken a dozen, if you follow our coverage, dozens of twists and turns at this point. Our team has been following each step of the way. Coming up tonight at 9 here on WCNC Plus, we have a dedicated to this investigation here on WCNC Plus. Again, it airs tonight at 9. You don't want to miss it. That's right after Live Impact News. You don't want to miss it. We'll be right back in 2 minutes. Welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturdivant. So we want to get to something that happened earlier on Capitol Hill. So the widow of Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi called Friday for the release of the transcript of the 2019 phone call that President Trump had with Mohammed bin Salman. So this press conference, again, Jamal Khashoggi's widow, she's joining Democratic lawmakers who are raising concerns about whether Trump personally benefited from his embrace of the Saudi crown prince. Again, that crown prince was there in the White House earlier this week. Let's get now to that press conference in case you missed it.
Good morning, everybody. So it is 11 o'clock and 25 years in the Army, I like to be prompt, and so we're about to get started. So first of all, thank you all for coming today. I'm honored to have Ms. Khashoggi standing with me today as we remember her husband and call for transparency and accountability for her family and for the American people. Thank you, Hanan, for being here. Given President Trump's disturbing and counterfactual defense of Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman this week, I felt compelled to speak up on behalf of the Khashoggi family and the country that I serve. This is why I took to the House floor to bring to light a call I reviewed during my tenure on Trump's White House national security staff. Out of all the calls with foreign leaders that I reviewed, two stood out as the most concerning. The first is well known, the call with President Zelensky that led to Trump's first impeachment. The second is a call between Mr. Trump and Mohammed bin Salman after the brutal murder of Washington Post journalist and a Virginia resident, Jamal Khashoggi. The Khashoggi family and the American people deserve to know what was said on that call. As I've said on the floor and in the past, if the past is any indication, the receipts will raise serious questions, and they will be shocking. All week, I've urged the president to release a transcript. Yesterday, I sent him a letter with 37 of my colleagues demanding the release of the transcript. I'm honored to have Ms. Khashoggi with me today, standing by my side as we remember her husband and call for transparency and accountability. We will continue pressing for the release of the transcript so that American people understand the truth. Our intelligence agencies concluded that Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman ordered the murder of Ms. Khashoggi's husband. When a president sidelines his own intelligence community to shield a foreign leader, America's credibility is at stake. The Khashoggi family and the public deserve to hear the truth. We need straight answers about this conversation. We need the transcript. Once again, I'm calling on the president to release the transcript of this call. I'm now honored to introduce Ms. Hanan Altar Khashoggi, the widow of Jamal Khashoggi, a native of Cairo, Egypt. She moved from the UAE, where she worked for over 20 years, here before her husband was brutally murdered. On July 20th, after 2 years of harassment and detainment, Hanan fled to the United States to claim political asylum. With the help of the United States Congress, she was able to get her work permit and was granted political asylum in December of 2023. She now resides in Arlington, Virginia. I will now turn the floor over to Ms. Khashoggi, and thank you for being here.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for attending this event. And I would love to thank Congressman Vandeman and Congressman Mr. Jimmy Raskin as well for all of the support for the truth and saving the Democratic of America. I'm very proud of all of you. I was born, my name is Hanan. I born in Egypt. I grew up in Dubai. My name is Hanan. I born in Egypt. I grew up in Dubai, where I was working as well as a cabin crew with Emirates Airlines for 22 years, where I did have the privilege to meet Jamal in 2009. The relation continue and is getting stronger since 2009 because we realize we are like a twin. He's Adam and I'm Eve. We meet in all of our opinion. In 2016, Jamal Khashoggi was giving a speech via Zoom, and the Saudi authority did not like it. They decided to put him under house arrest. I start to object in my little capacity in my social media, speaking to different Arabic journalists to speak up and release Jamal, because I do believe strongly in him. Jamal was very kind man, a stable man, and a transparent man. Whatever he see in, he say it in the camera. He used to say it in our house after we got married. After I supported him in this cause, I did. The Emirati did put me under surveillance. They spy on me. He managed to flee to America in 2017 and live in his apartment here in Tyson Corner. And he asked me to visit him. I managed to visit him in his birthday in March 2018. He proposed to get married to me, and he put the ring in my hand for engagement. And he told me, I might be a curse in your life, Hanan. I didn't know it will happen later on, and my life it will be thrown upside down. We continue in our relation, going back to Dubai to resume my work. The intelligence of United Arab Emirates was waiting for me, detained me, interrogating me, and questioned me for 17 hours all about Jamal, and assuming he have a network to change the throne in Gulf area, which is not true. We got married here in America, in Alexandria in June 2018, and we decided to build a life and to be away from all of this polarization in Middle East. But I encourage him to continue the way he are, supporting democratic freedom and the good future of the Middle East, especially to Saudi Arabia. They have the resource to develop. And I did not know this will backfire in him and getting a gap between him and the Saudi authority bigger. And last time we met, it was September, a few days before he fly to Turkey. He was supposed to visit Istanbul, Berlin, London, to buy apartment in Turkey, for he can get a citizenship and he can get some kind of medical insurance as well, because his health was going down. Jamal was suffering with a lot of medical condition before he left us. I did not know ever, and we never did assume they will take his life just because of his opinion. Jamal Khashoggi was very stable man, very kind man, and he met with different people, different background, and I promise you will walk away with a smile. This is the kind of Jamal Khashoggi. I heard this week something very disturbing me from President Trump about my husband. He's controversial and he's unliked. I would like to tell Mr. Trump you're expressing someone else, not Jamal Khashoggi. Jamal Khashoggi was most stable man. He was a role model to represent us as an Arabic and Muslim, and he accepts everybody regarding your ideology background as well. They try to paint him like he's a friend of Osama bin Laden or his Muslim Brotherhood, and all of this excuse. This not excuse to take his life away. There is no justification to kidnap him, torture him, and to kill him and to cut him to pieces. This is a terrorist act. What they did, this is 17 men in behalf of the order came from the Saudi authority. It's a terrorist act. And I try to take action, even I'm standing alone. I'm trying to take action in different countries, which is I land, because I have a privilege as a cabin crew. I land in these countries when I was under surveillance. After I fled to America, and we discovered they spy on me since 2017 with different spy material, including the Pegasus and Celebrate as well. We try to take action against this. I'm starting legal action in France and in UK as well. I'm looking for a brave lawyer in Turkey as well to assist me. And thank you for listening. Thank you very much.
You're not alone. I want you to know that you're not alone.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'm seeking the help of Mr. Congressman Vindman and Mr. Jimmy Ruskin. I insist to get this content of the conversation between President Trump and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman to stand with the truth. I need to know that what is the truth in this conversation. And I would appreciate if you try as much you can to save the democratic and the freedom to press and speech to America. Do not be copy of Middle East dictator country. We look to you here as a role model of modern civilization. Please maintain it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I want to thank Congressman Vindman for his leadership in making sure that Jamal Khashoggi is not forgotten, and that we will stand always with Mrs.
All right, we want to come back out with some breaking news. Just into our newsroom, we're learning of a shooting at the Christmas tree lighting in Concord. Remember earlier in the show, at the beginning of the show, we brought you a live look at the tree lighting there in downtown Concord. It's an annual event that happens. We had just learned our photographer on the scene, Pierre Simmons, has told us from what he's learned, one person has been shot. Unclear the condition. We do have a live camera. We're working to get a good picture for you before we take you out there live. But again, what we know is one person has been shot, according to a photographer on the scene. He's spoken with law enforcement. He's spoken with folks there on the scene. He's again working to get video for us, and we're working to get that shot for you. And as soon as we get that shot up, we will get you out there to downtown Concord. And we may, I'm pausing because okay, here's a look at the scene. This is where, let's come off that shot. So that's in downtown Concord. Again, there's a law enforcement present. That most of that scene, from what I'm looking at, I want to describe because we may be having some sensitive stuff there in that shot, images in that shot. So I don't want to bring that to you until we're ready to show you. But that area is pretty much closed off. See law enforcement there. See some folks that look like they were in attendance just kind of around the scene. But what we're seeing is law enforcement, obviously EMS, and then some folks standing around. But again, this was supposed to be a joyous occasion for folks there in downtown Concord and surrounding areas as they were celebrating a holiday tradition, a Christmas tree lighting, annual Christmas tree lighting that happens. And as soon as it's safe to do so, we're going to take you back to that scene as law enforcement, EMS, they attend. It appears that they attend to somebody there on the scene. Again, our photojournalist there, Pierre Simmons, told us that one person has been shot. That's what he's been told there on the scene. Law enforcement is taping it off. Are we good to take that shot?
We can take it from here.
Okay, let's get you back there on the scene. So this is what it looks like right now. A police officer within the last couple of seconds, really. And again, it looks like he's advising Pierre to move back some. But you see he is expanding that perimeter there in downtown Concord where they had that tree lighting. Yeah, you're talking about a ceremony and an event where you have kids, you have families there enjoying a Friday evening, and a shooting takes place. Again, we don't know what led up to the shooting. We don't know the circumstances surrounding the shooting. We have very limited details, but what we can tell you and what Pierre Simmons, our photojournalist there on the scene, has told us back here in the newsroom is that one person has been shot. That's what we know now, but you can see that police officer there. He is advising folks who looks like they were in attendance to get at the back or behind the perimeter, behind that yellow tape. What can you tell us, Jeb?
Yeah, so Nick, if we could get that shot back up, yeah, you can see. I will tell you what I was learning just now is it does appear that the Christmas tree lighting hadn't even happened yet. It was scheduled to take place at 8 p.m.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so this would have happened based on the reports from our photojournalist, Pierre Simmons. It was at 7:30, just after that he heard the shots fired. Now, luckily, Pierre has told us he is okay.
Yeah.
He obviously has been able to put up this shot. It does look like people have cleared out. But the Christmas tree lighting, to the best of our knowledge, did not even get to take place. A very sad scene where we're getting updates from Pierre regularly. We saw towards the end there, as we kind of took this shot, it did appear that EMS crew were taking this person, whoever they were, off, likely into an ambulance and hopefully be treated. We do not know the status of the individual involved or what led up to the shooting. We're hoping to hear from Pierre. You know, we knew he was in a safe position. We knew he was not, involved. But as we see him literally moving in live time,
it looks like he's about
let's
to
hear from this guy.
It looks like he's about to talk to somebody. Let's take a listen in to to what's being said. And as they get mic'd up again, we don't know the extent of the injuries. We know
nothing. This has happened.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, we can take you behind the curtain. This was an event that we had our photographer, and just keep watching until this man starts talking. And Sean, listen. And just let me know whenever he starts going. Our photographer Pierre was there, as you guys saw at the top of our show,
just to shoot it,
right? Just to capture this tree light. Like we have a thing we want to do this year where we send our photographers and give you live images of these tree lightings and of these Christmas parades. So this was just I cannot believe that this happened.
So it looks like we have one person there that Pierre's talked to that was that he is miking up.
BRETTFORD.
Let's take a listen into what he's saying.
I'm just a balloon artist out. We've been doing it for about 12 years and making balloons just like we normally did. Had a line of probably 250, 300 people. And then all of a sudden you heard what you thought was fireworks, but it's about 40 minutes early for the fireworks. And then all panic broke loose. Everybody scattered, everybody started running, people were falling down, and now they've closed off the whole event, and I will have to just wait to see what unfolded. I'm not sure of injuries or anything like that, but it was kind of startling. I've been doing this, like I said, 12 years. This has never happened here, but no place is unique, I guess.
Does it make you feel uneasy? What was the other people like? It seemed like there was a lot of...
I just stood in the same place. I don't get excited about stuff like that. I figured if something was wrong, there's so many police in this area. They have it so well covered. I figured if something was really wrong, they would tell me. And I have no idea what happened, if anybody's hurt, all of that. But it's just sad. Everybody was having so much fun, and it was supposed to go for another 2 hours, and cut short again. And I think somebody told me the same thing happened down in Oakboro, and they ruined the second or the first day of the fair they were doing there, and they shut it down. So hopefully that won't happen again.
It's sad that people can't enjoy themselves out in public.
We can't have nothing nice. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's sad that people want to resort to something like that when this is no place for that. There shouldn't. I mean, there's families, kids. It's a time of Thanksgiving. It's not for that kind of nonsense. But some people don't know how to work on their differences. They want to do it with violence, and that's not the answer.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
All right. Y'all have a great day. Yes. Thank you.
All right, so that was Pierre Simmons, a photojournalist there on scene, speaking with somebody who was actually there at that Christmas tree lighting. He described people running, falling, trying to get to safety. So that's just one person that we heard from. Again, we saw some more folks there at the scene of this Christmas tree lighting. Again, this is supposed to be an occasion where folks have a great time. The tree lighting that didn't actually take place, it was supposed to take place at 8 o'clock, and then followed by fireworks. And again, this is an event where families, kids, so many of the community members coming in to bring in the holiday season, and cut short because of the shooting. When we came on, we did see paramedics appear to be working on an individual. We don't know the extent of the damage. Pierre told us there on the scene that he was told one person is shot. Let's take you back there to the scene. Let's take a look at what's happening. Again, that is that scene, a close-up shot. You see paramedic vehicle there. There's obviously officers there. They expanded that perimeter. So Pierre, I can't say, I want to emphasize, Pierre, it's safe. Mm-hmm. He is safe. And so he is there on scene as it's all clear. For the most part, there's some folks that were there. They're kind of standing around hanging out, but it is clear compared to where we showed you and what we showed you at the top of the show, where folks were just having a good time. There was live music playing. There were a lot of people packing this area. only for it to end in gunfire. But again, downtown Concord, from what we can report and what Pierre is telling us, one person shot at the Christmas tree lighting. That tree lighting was supposed to happen at 8 o'clock. And again, he spoke to one man who described the scene. Again, folks, when they heard the shots, running away, some falling, trying to get to safety there. And so details right now on what exactly happened, what led up to the shooting, are limited at this point. We're still working to gather what exactly happened. We're still working from Concord Police, I'm sure there. Cabarrus County Sheriff's Office, I'm sure, is in that area.
It sounded, and we're going to get into a little bit of conjecture here because you guys, to let you know, are literally listening to it and watching along with us in real time as we gathered the information. So pulling the curtain back a little bit, based on what we heard from that man, it sounded as if almost like there was a conflict that was going on between the individuals. He talked about this has no place here, and they heard something going on. Obviously, people scattered, so we really do not know. But based on what they've observed, it does appear that that's how it started, and how a lot of these things, unfortunately, we've covered several of them here on Live Impact News, how those start. But we are looking forward to hearing from our photojournalist, Pierre Simmons, who was on the scene when this happened, which to try to understand more. We have reached out to all the law enforcement officials who will be investigating this shooting to try and understand what they know. So far, we have not heard back, but as you might imagine, this having happened less than 20 minutes, or just about 20 minutes now, ago, the investigation is still very fresh. They probably know, quite frankly, as much as we do going into this. So we will obviously keep you updated throughout the night as we learn more.
And look, just to how things work here on Live Impact News, if you've been watching, if you watch Live Impact News for some time now, a lot of times we come on air with what we have, limited details, and give you a live look at the scene and just the information and breaking news in real time before we're able to get many details on exactly what happened. So we don't waste any time. So we try to get you here. And again, we try to learn and figure out in real time with you as the viewer. Let's take a quick break. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back here on Live Impact News in just 2 minutes, and we'll have more here at this shooting here in downtown Concord, where a Christmas tree lighting event was taking place. We'll be back here in just 2 minutes. All right, welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Soderman. We are coming back and bringing you the latest on what we know on the shooting there in downtown Concord. According to our photojournalist at the scene, Pierre Simmons, one person has been shot. Now, we've been working to get updates on exactly what happened. We talked to, or Pierre, I should say, talked to one person at the scene who was there earlier and at the event, and he described what exactly happened, saying it was pretty chaotic. Folks were running after they heard the shots, some people falling, trying to get to safety. When we came on air and we provided a shot, we didn't notice paramedics around a person. We didn't air that, but around a person who they were working on. And again, Pierre has told us that one person has been shot, and since we've been able to get a stable shot for you, we've noticed it is all clear there. They have pretty much cleared out the area as the investigation continues into a person shot. Again, this is a live look at the scene right now. Again, you see that police vehicle and you see that yellow tape surrounding that area, and it's a stark contrast from what we saw at the top of the show when we brought you this. Pierre was there to shoot a Christmas tree lighting, an annual event there in downtown Concord to bring in the holidays. Families were there, only for it to abruptly end because of a shooting. Sad situation there. Again, we are still learning the extent of the person who was shot, injuries, what led up to the shooting, what exactly took place, if police are looking for suspects. All things that we are working to sort out at this point. And we do have, I believe we have some new video in to our response. Okay. So we have video of the actual response. We can't tell you if they were leaving the scene or going to the scene, but this is just a clip of that response from earlier. You see police. And just to show you how many people there, you see some cars kind of stuck there in traffic as Concord police. Looks like again, it's hard to tell if they were making their way out of the scene or making their way to the scene. You see ambulance there near the scene. Again, there's a brief videos that we just got. We just got into our newsroom, so we wanted to kind of show you what exactly it looked like around the scene as everything was unfolding. But let me take you back now to the scene. This is a live look here in downtown Concord where that shooting happened. All right, so Pierre spoke with a gentleman who, again, as I've been mentioning, was there at the Christmas tree lighting. He was at the event, and he walked Pierre through what exactly happened, what he heard. Let's take a listen in to what he said.
Check.
Should have fixed my hair.
You're good.
I tell you what, hold on. He's doing two. Knock him down. Kill two.
All right, so we actually want to go to this lady live here. Pierre's talking to this woman, a witness at the scene, or I should say a person who was there at the event at the scene. Let's take a listen.
Bathroom, because this is crazy. This is a family event. And why would someone come and ruin something like that, especially for the children, So now we're just on our way. They canceled everything and we have to go home. I don't know if they subdued the guy or if he got away. I don't know. But this is ridiculous.
Now tell me what was the first thing you did when you heard of gunshots. You tell me.
I'm in the bathroom. I didn't come out. I stayed in there with my grandchildren. And then my daughter-in-law came in too. So we just stayed there for about 10 minutes or maybe 10, 15 minutes, until we knew that it was safe to come out. So it's just unfortunate. We do this every year and never a problem. So I hope they catch the person and I hope everybody's safe. And yeah.
How scary was this moment?
Very scary. Everybody's traumatized. We come out and people are on the floor in the restaurant. They're crying. The children are shaking. Parents are hoovering over their children. This is ridiculous. This is not something that you want to experience. Especially at a family event. naughty of that person, very naughty, you know. No presents for you this year.
Are you a Concord resident?
Yes, I am.
And so you've been coming here for years?
Yes, absolutely,
And
absolutely.
How does it make you feel to know that?
You're just not really safe anymore. You know, that's what it boils down to. You know, and I'm not sure if it's in reference to a lot of the economical stress that's been going on, and you know, it's kind of spilling out. But it's just, this has really been horrific. I don't even want to go to another event. You know,
You said you were in the bathroom. What did it sound like?
it's just like people screaming and running. You know, I didn't hear the actual gunshot. Okay, but you hear them. It's someone shooting, and everybody's running. Okay, they said don't come out the bathroom. Okay, so I wasn't coming out the bathroom. Yeah.
What was the restaurant you was in?
The pizza shop. I can't even think of the name right over here. It's a pizza shop. Sorry,
Have you ever been in anything like this?
never in my life.
Seems like a movie.
Man, it's just horrible. It's like a nightmare. I've never ever in my life experienced anything like this. Now, let me say something. Back in the 70s, early 60s, 70s, they might have had the police going through, because I'm from up north, and you know, they might have had the police clear the streets. But I mean, just like after that, you know, I've never experienced in my whole life, like, you know, up until, you know, today. And I've worked in, you know, dangerous, you know, positions with juvenile justice and, you know, things of that nature too. So I'm just saying, it's just really horrible. You know, the residents don't feel safe, and that's the bottom line. It's not, what do you do? What can you do? You know, you get one bad apple, you know, and hopefully that person is taken into custody and, you know, they're put away, that's all.
You know, you've talked about it a little bit there. You've had 30, 45 minutes now to process it. What kind of emotions are going through your head right now?
The what if emotions, you know, of losing someone to someone else's recklessness. And, you know, it could be a mental health issue, we don't know. But I have small children out here, my grandchildren, my daughter-in-law, you know, just ruining the family fun. My emotions are all over the place, you know, very much all over the place.
What was your name now?
I'm Teresa Harris.
Can you spell it?
Oh, Teresa Harris.
And Harris, H-A-R-R.
Yes.
Yeah, I got none of it.
Yeah.
Thank you,
So,
ma'am.
all right.
Thank you, Teresa. I really appreciate your
You're
time.
quite welcome.
I'm fine. This is new.
All right, so that was a woman who described what she heard, what she saw. She said she didn't actually hear the gunshots, but just the chaos unfolding after a shooting and people saying there was a shooting and people running. She said she was in the bathroom, and she said, hey, look, I'm not leaving the bathroom. They told her not to leave, and she said, hey, I'm not leaving. Obviously, she was afraid. She said, you know, in the moment, she says, hey, I don't want to come back to something like this. Granted, again, this is emotions in the moment, and this is how she's feeling. Again, a scary moment as shots were fired there at that Christmas tree lighting, a time where it's supposed to be family fun, kick off the holidays. So before we spoke with that woman, Pierre spoke with another person who was there at the event. Let's take a listen into what he had to say moments ago.
Listen to it.
Spell your name for me.
It's Brett Ford, B-R-E-T-T-F-O-R-D.
And you were out here.
I'm just a balloon artist out. We've been doing it for about 12 years and making balloons just like we normally did. Had a line of probably 250, 300 people. And then all of a sudden you heard what you thought was fireworks, but it's about 40 minutes early for the fireworks. And then all panic broke loose. Everybody scattered, everybody started running, people were falling down. And now they've closed off the whole event, and I will have to just wait to see what unfolded. I'm not sure of injuries or anything like that, but it was kind of startling. I've been doing this, like I said, 12 years. This has never happened here, but no place is unique, I guess.
Does it make you feel uneasy? What was the other people like? It seemed like there was a lot of...
I just stood in the same place. I don't get excited about stuff like that. I figured if something was wrong, there's so many police in this area. They have it so well covered. I figured if something was really wrong, they would tell me. And I have no idea what happened, if anybody's hurt, all of that. But it's just sad. Everybody was having so much fun, and it was supposed to go for another 2 hours, and cut short again. And I think somebody told me the same thing happened down in Oakboro, and they ruined the second or the first day of the fair they were doing there, and they shut it down. So hopefully that won't happen again.
It's sad that, you know, people can't enjoy themselves out in public.
We can't have nothing nice. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's just, it's sad that people want to resort to something like that when this is no place for that. There shouldn't, I mean, there's families, kids, it's a time of Thanksgiving, you know, it's not for that kind of nonsense. But some people don't know how to work on their differences. They want to do it with violence, and that's not the answer.
And yeah, you can hear the frustration in that man's voice. Again, a shooting there in downtown Concord during a Christmas tree lighting, an event designed to have fun. Folks are having a good time. We want to go now to another person that Pierre is speaking with that's at the event. Let's take a listen in to what she is saying at this moment. Again, Pierre is speaking with this woman right now. Let's listen in.
Okay. I'm sorry, I don't know.
You look at him. You look at him. Oh, me. Look at me. There you go.
Look at you?
Yeah. I got the mic. Oh,
Okay, okay.
You good? Spell your name.
My name is Donna, D-O-N-N-A. I know you. You're a meteorologist.
Sure am.
You look at him last.
Oh, you're Miss Leatherman Cook, aren't you?
There you go, dude.
Yeah, yeah. I
People-
remember you comment on my Facebook stuff all the time.
People don't mess with me normally. My uncle was a senator.
What was it like to be out here today?
Frightening. We came for an enjoyable evening and didn't turn out that way. It just is apparent that one stupid person can ruin everyone's night.
You said you were out sitting down and eating?
No, we were just sitting down.
And what was it like?
Just gunfire. And it had been wonderful before that. Well organized, law enforcement everywhere. You know, no big deal. And we thought this was cool.
And for someone that wasn't out here, once you heard the gunfire, what did it sound like? And then what did you see?
Just pop, pop, pop. And then it just became chaotic. You
What
know,
were other people doing?
everybody was running in different directions. At that point, it was hard to organize the situation.
You know, how does it make you feel that someone would come to a place like this and, you know, commit such a violent act?
Scary, frightening, and there's no room for violence in our world.
Thank you, ma'am. Oh, your last name?
Cook, Donna Leatherman Cook, C-O-O-K-E.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, doll.
Absolutely.
Another person that was there at the event, the Christmas tree lighting, again, Pierre speaking with folks there on the scene, she described it. She heard the gunshots. She said multiple gunshots. Pierre also saying the same thing to us. Again, one person shot in downtown Concord. Again, the extent of the person's injuries, what led up, just the crux of the investigation. Granted, still early, but still limited at this time. We are waiting to get some information, more information from Concord Police. We have a look at the scene right now. Let's go back out to the scene. And this is the lady walking out of frame that we just spoke to. But you can see that area taped off. You see officers there in the background. Again, long gun. One officer with a long gun there on scene. So we don't know if they're looking for a suspect. We don't know what the investigation really entails. So again, the perimeter shut off there in the area where that Christmas tree lighting. You see that woman there is gesturing to our camera because I'm guessing she's telling the officer that she spoke with us. But again, officers there, folks there who were at the event, looking like just the last few folks that are there making their way off the out of the area. And that is the stage too. It looks like they're clearing off that stage as well. As they're shutting things down for the night. They were expected to light the Christmas tree at 8 o'clock. Obviously, that did not happen. The news of this, we got word, let me scroll up on our end. We got word at just after 7:30 about this shooting from Pierre. He called us and told us shots were fired at the Concord tree lighting and confirmed with us that one person was shot. A stark contrast from where we were just at the top of the show at about 7 o'clock when we showed you so many people having fun, live music playing there. All right, so we're going to have more coverage of this shooting here in downtown Concord. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back here in just 2 minutes here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sorter. We are continuing to follow breaking news in Concord, downtown Concord to be specific. That's because there was a shooting there in downtown Concord. Our photographer there at the scene, Pierre Simmons, confirming that. He spoke with several people there. One woman said she heard shots. There are other people that described the chaos as folks running. At one lady, she was actually in the bathroom at the time. Someone told her not to leave in the bathroom, so she stayed in the bathroom until it was safe to come out. Again, there was a tree lighting that was taking place, a tree lighting event ceremony taking place there in downtown Concord. This was a family fun event where the kids get a chance to meet Santa Claus, where there are fireworks. Again, the tree lighting that was supposed to happen at 8 did not happen. Live music was playing actually when we showed the shot at the top of the show at 7 o'clock. And this was throughout downtown Concord where so many people there to bring in the holiday season. And it's turned into a crime scene. You see the area blocked off, taped off, yellow tape off, officers there. We actually saw one officer with a long gun. So not clear why, if they're looking for a suspect, if they're looking for other people. Again, a lot of questions surrounding this investigation process and where police are now. Again, granted, it's still very early. It hasn't even been an hour since Pierre called us here in the newsroom to tell us about this shooting. So still very early on in this investigation. Again, Pierre spoke with several people at this point who were there just to have a great time. He spoke to a woman there, again, and other people there. So I want to read you this. We got a statement from Concord Police just into our newsroom. Here's what they have posted on X. This is from, I should say, the city of Concord posted this on X, confirming, and this is what it reads. There was a shooting at the annual tree lighting ceremony just before 7:30 p.m. The remainder of the event is canceled and visitors are advised to leave the area and drivers should seek alternate routes. Anyone with information is asked to call Concord PD at 704-920-5027. City of Concord now confirming that there was a shooting at the annual tree lighting just before 7:30 p.m. So Pierre called us a few minutes after 7:30 when he was able to get to safety. And he is safe. I can confirm Pierre is safe, but again, a shooting there. So again, we heard from a woman there on scene. We've heard from several people actually, but we want to take you now to a woman who was there on scene during this chaos and when everything unfolded. Are we ready for that? We're getting ready for it now. We're going to take you down to that sound in case you missed it. Again, Pierre spoke with her earlier. Let's take you to that woman and what she described, what happened and what she saw and what she heard.
It was like maybe 5 minutes, okay? Maybe 5 minutes, okay? And all this stuff would happen and somebody was shooting, okay? So at the end of the day, I'm glad that we had to stay in that bathroom because, you know, this is crazy. This is a family event. And why would someone come and ruin something like that, especially for the children, you know? So now we're just on our way. They canceled everything and we have to go home. I don't know if they subdued the guy or if he got away. I don't know. But this is ridiculous.
Now tell me what was the first thing you did when you heard of gunshots. You tell me.
I'm in the bathroom. I didn't come out. I stayed in there with my grandchildren. And then my daughter-in-law came in too. So we just stayed there for about 10 minutes or maybe 10, 15 minutes, you know, until we knew that it was safe to come out. So it's just unfortunate. We do this every year and never a problem. Never a problem. So I hope they catch the person and I hope everybody's safe. And yeah.
How scary was this moment?
Very scary. Everybody's traumatized. We come out and people are on the floor in the restaurant, you know, they're crying, the children are shaking, you know, parents are hoovering over their children. This is ridiculous. This is not something that you want to experience, you know, especially at a family event. Naughty of that person, very naughty, you know. No presents for you this year.
Are you a Concord resident?
Yes, I am.
And so you've been coming here for years?
Yes, absolutely,
And
absolutely.
How does it make you feel to know that?
You're just not really safe anymore. You know, that's what it boils down to. You know, and I'm not sure if it's in reference to a lot of the economical stress that's been going on and, you know, it's kind of spilling out, but it's just, this has really been horrific. I don't even want to go to another event, you know.
You said you were in the bathroom. What did it sound like?
It's just like people screaming and running, you know. I didn't hear the actual gunshot, okay, but you hear them, it's someone shooting and everybody's running, okay. They said don't come out the bathroom, okay, so I wasn't coming out the bathroom. Yeah.
What was the restaurant you was in?
The pizza shop. I can't even think of the name right over here. It's a pizza shop. Sorry.
Have you ever been in anything like it?
Never in my life.
And like a movie?
Oh, man, it's just horrible. It's like a nightmare. I've never, ever in my life experienced anything like this. Now, let me say something. Back in the 70s, early 60s, 70s, they might have had the police going through, because I'm from up north, and, you know, they might have had the police clear the streets. But I mean, just like after that, you know, I've never experienced in my whole life, like, you know, up until, you know, today. And I've worked in, you know, dangerous, you know, positions with juvenile justice and, you know, things of that nature too. So I'm just saying, it's just really horrible. You know, the residents don't feel safe, and that's the bottom line. It's not what do you do? What can you do? You know, you get one bad apple, you know, and hopefully that person is taken into custody and, you know, they're put away, that's all.
You know, you've talked about it a little bit there. You've had 30, 45 minutes now to process it. What kind of emotions are going through your head right now?
The what if emotions, you know, of losing someone to someone else's recklessness. And, you know, it could be a mental health issue, we don't know. But I have small children out here, my grandchildren, my daughter-in-law, you know, just ruining the family fun. My emotions are all over the place, you know, very much all over the place.
What was your name now?
I'm Teresa Harris.
Can you spell it?
Oh, Teresa Harris.
Harris, H-A-R-R.
Yes.
Yeah, I got none of it.
Yeah.
Thank you,
So,
ma'am.
all right.
Thank you, Teresa. I really appreciate your
You're
time.
quite welcome.
I'm fine. This is new.
All right, so that was a woman on the scene who was at the event describing what happened, what she saw, what she heard. And just to recap and just to catch you up, I just want to confirm with you from the city of Concord, they posted this on X. There was a shooting at the annual Christmas tree lighting ceremony just before 7:30 p.m. The remainder of the event is canceled and visitors are advised to leave the area and drivers should seek alternate routes. Anyone with information is asked to call Concord Police at 704-920-5027. Again, that is a post from the city of Concord confirming that shooting. And again, I encourage you to go to our digital platforms. I encourage you to go to our website, WCNC.com. And here's the headline. Shots ring out at Concord Christmas tree lighting. Our photographer, WCNC Charlotte's Pierre Simmons, heard the shots, saw emergency crews, responded, called us just after 7:30. Again, shots ringing out at that Christmas tree lighting in downtown Concord. And Pierre was there actually shooting an event, that Christmas tree lighting event, when he heard those shots. And the incident, again, causing disruption to the event. Officers there setting up crime scene tape. You see folks trying to get to safety, trying to figure out what exactly happened. Emergency crews were seen there as well. We've seen Concord Police in and around that scene as that response was going on. Emergency crews in and around that scene as this incident was unfolding. And again, we've heard from folks who said they heard gunshots, who said they heard people say there were gunshots and people panicking and running away, trying to get to safety. Some folks falling. Again, the city of Concord posting on X said there was a shooting at the annual tree lighting ceremony just before 7:30. The remainder of the event is canceled and visitors are advised to leave the area and drivers should seek alternate routes. Anyone with information is asked to call Concord Police, Concord PD at 704-920-5027. But again, a shooting there in downtown Concord. Again, annual tree lighting ceremony where folks are bringing their families or their young kids, their community members there, looking to have a good time, looking to bring in the holiday. There was supposed to be a tree lighting. That tree lighting did not actually happen. That tree lighting was supposed to happen around 8. It did not happen. There was supposed to be fireworks. That did not happen. But again, there is a police presence there, and the investigation continues. And look, if you were there, send us pictures. Send us video. Send it to 704-329-3600 so we can help tell the story, so we can help piece together some of the stuff that actually happened. Again, still early in the investigation process, and it hasn't even been an hour since we got word of this shooting. So again, very early stages of what happened. But if you have pictures, if you have video, send it to us at 704-329-3600 so we can help tell this story here on Live Impact News of just minutes after we learned about this shooting. We brought it to you here on Live Impact News, and we have been rolling with this since. Again, Pierre Simmons there on scene. Siobhan Riley is actually headed there on scene, and we'll have a live report for us tonight at 11, or as soon as she gets there. Honestly, we'll try to pop her up and get more information as she works to gather more there on the scene. But Pierre, again, talking to folks there who frustrated, scared, and again, like a lot of us here, trying to figure out what exactly happened and how this all started at an event that was to celebrate the holidays. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back here in just 2 minutes here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sutter. We are continuing to track the latest updates when it comes to a shooting in downtown Concord. There was a Christmas tree lighting event that was taking place, and just after 7:30, we got word from our photojournalist there on the scene, Pierre Simmons. This is a live look at the scene. It's taped off, and it is all clear as far as people. But again, the investigation continues as that area is taped off. And again, about an hour ago, we got word from Pierre that shots were fired. And Pierre has been talking to folks. Again, the information that we know now is limited. And we do know at this hour and at this minute that there is a media staging area. And so we are expected to hear from law enforcement at some point tonight with an update on what happened. Here's what the city of Concord has posted on X. There was a shooting at the annual tree lighting ceremony just before 7:30 p.m. The remainder of the event is canceled, and visitors are advised to leave the area, and drivers should seek alternate routes. Anyone with information is asked to call Concord PD at 704-920-5027. Now, if you have any pictures, video, you can send it to us. The number is right there on your screen. And you can text and you can send it to 704-329-3600. So you can help us tell the story as well. So, again, a lot of questions surrounding what happened. We actually heard from several people there. Pierre has been talking to people who heard shots fired, from just giving and voicing their frustration on what exactly happened. Let's take you now to a man that Pierre spoke with moments after the shooting. Let's take a listen in.
Spell your name for me.
It's Brett Ford, BRETTFORD.
And you were out here.
I'm just a balloon artist out. We've been doing it for about 12 years and making balloons just like we normally did. Had a line of probably 250, 300 people. And then all of a sudden you heard what you thought was fireworks, but it's about 40 minutes early for the fireworks. And then all panic broke loose. Everybody scattered, everybody started running, people were falling down. And now they've closed off the whole event, and I will have to just wait to see what unfolded. I'm not sure of injuries or anything like that, but it was kind of startling. I've been doing this, like I said, 12 years. This has never happened here, but no place is unique, I guess.
Does it make you feel uneasy? What was the other people like? It seemed like there was a lot of...
I just stood in the same place. I don't get excited about stuff like that. I figured if something was wrong, there's so many police in this area. They have it so well covered. I figured if something was really wrong, they would tell me. And I have no idea what happened, if anybody's hurt, all of that. But it's just sad. Everybody was having so much fun, and it was supposed to go for another 2 hours, and cut short again. And I think somebody told me the same thing happened down in Oakboro, and they ruined the second or the first day of the fair they were doing there, and they shut it down. So hopefully that won't happen again.
It's sad that, people can't enjoy themselves out in public.
We can't have nothing nice. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's sad that people want to resort to something like that when this is no place for that. There shouldn't. I mean, there's families, kids. It's a time of Thanksgiving. It's not for that kind of nonsense. But some people don't know how to work on their differences. They want to do it with violence, and that's not the answer.
Again, that was a man who was there at the tree lighting event. Again, this is supposed to be a joyous time where folks celebrate the holidays with their families. But just after around 7:30, we got reports of shots fired there at the event. City of Concord posting on X, there was a shooting at the annual tree lighting ceremony just before 7:30 p.m. The remainder of the event is canceled, and they are advising, again, people, if you're still there, to leave the area. Drivers should seek alternate routes. And if you have any information to call Concord Police. Again, we've heard from numerous people who were there. One lady said she actually heard those shots. Let's take a listen into what she had to say.
You look at him. You look at him. Talk to me. Look at me. There you go.
Look at you.
Yeah, I got the mic. Oh,
Okay, okay.
Good.
Spell your name.
My name is Donna, D-O-N-N-A. I know you. You're a meteorologist.
Sure am.
You look at him.
Oh, you're Miss Leatherman Cook, aren't you?
There you go, dude.
Yeah. I remember you comment on my Facebook stuff all the time.
People don't mess with me normally. My uncle was a senator.
What was it like to be out here today?
Frightening. We came for an enjoyable evening and didn't turn out that way. It just is apparent that one stupid person can ruin everyone's night.
You said you were out sitting down eating?
No, we were just sitting down.
And what was it like?
Just gunfire. And wonderful before that, well organized, law enforcement everywhere. You know, no big deal. And we thought this was cool.
And for someone that wasn't out here, once you heard the gunfire, what did it sound like? And then what did you see?
Just pop, pop, pop. And then it just became chaotic. You know.
What were other people doing?
Everybody was running in different directions. At that point, it was hard to organize the situation.
You know, how does it make you feel that someone would come to a place like this and, you know, commit such a violent act?
Scary, frightening, and there's no room for violence in our world.
Thank you, ma'am. Oh, your last name?
Cook, Donna Leatherman Cook, C-O-O-K-E.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, all.
Absolutely.
And that was just another person that Pierre spoke with, a woman who was there at the Christmas tree lighting, said she heard those gunshots. I do want to point out there is a media staging area, and we are expected to have some statement, maybe a press conference there from police, from law enforcement on what exactly they know. We are continuing to track social media, even information coming into our newsroom as it comes in real time, just to update you on what exactly happened. But as you can see there below, shooting at Concord tree lighting ceremony. Again, City of Concord posted on X, there was a shooting at the annual tree lighting ceremony just before 7:30. Just to kind of piece together that timeline, WCNC Charlotte photojournalist Pierre Simmons called us here in the newsroom just after 7:30, so minutes after the City of Concord said incident happened. Minutes later, Pierre called us, told us about the shots fired. He was there to shoot the actual event, the ceremony. And from there, we've been learning bit by bit. Pierre told us one person was shot. We're still working to see if more people were shot, if there are suspects in custody, if they're looking for someone. All that information regarding the investigation. What we can tell you is Concord Police blocked off that entire area where that Christmas tree lighting ceremony was taking place, and it's taped off, and it is clear of the people as they continue their investigation there in downtown Concord. This is video from earlier. Again, this is an event where for the kids, for families, to celebrate and usher in the holidays. As people celebrate the holidays, we're a week away from Black Friday, less than a week away from Thanksgiving. So this is a tradition for many people there, and in the surrounding areas to come there. As this weekend, there will be more events to kick off the holiday, and be similar events to kick off the holiday. Just a terrible way to end that event. Obviously, that event has been canceled. As we work to learn more, again, Pierre is still out there. Our Siobhan Riley is out there, or headed out there to Concord to work to get us more information for our later newscast. If we see her, we will take you there and get an update from her. But again, we are still working to get more information. Details are limited at this time. But one of the stories that stuck out to me was a woman who was there when we spoke to her, when Pierre spoke to her, and we brought that to you here live on Live Impact News. She was in the bathroom at the time, and she didn't hear the gunshots, but somebody told her there were gunshots. They told her to stay in the bathroom, and she described how scary of a moment that was. And so she stayed there, and when the coast was clear, she was able to come out. But again, she was frustrated. She was scared. She actually had on a Santa hat. So again, she was there to celebrate and to bring in the holidays like so many people who come to this annual event. Again, this is a look at the scene. It's taped off. As again, a lot of questions. We are still working to find out the fine details of this incident. We are expected, I say expected, to get an update from law enforcement at some point tonight. But we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back here in just 2 minutes. We'll be, again, on the other side of the break, we'll have the latest on the shooting there in downtown Concord at a Christmas tree lighting event there in downtown Concord. We'll be back here in just 2 minutes. Welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturtevant. We are continuing to give you updates on the shooting there in downtown Concord, a Christmas tree lighting event happening. Our photojournalist, Pierre Simmons, was there covering the event. He is just into our newsroom describing what happened. Again, he's been there all night. Let's take a listen into what Pierre has to say.
Concord Courthouse, where we were here celebrating Christmas, the holidays. They were gonna light the tree, as you can see there, when gunshots rang out. We're right here by the courthouse. Lots of police presence. There was a lot of police presence out here. Police tape wrapped around the courthouse. People leaving strollers. People leaving chairs. Concord police now investigating. Very, very, very heavy situation. Tons of people out here, all running towards us. Heard the gunshots, thought it was fireworks, and that's the same thing a lot of witnesses are saying. Wow, a lot. Hey guys, coming to you here from the
All right, so that is a video Pierre sent to us updating. You can hear in his voice, you can see in his face. It's a scary situation. Look, we're the news. We cover a lot of stuff like this, but when it happens, we are human. We react just like you would in a situation like that. So I'm glad Pierre is safe. Thankful for him for giving us those updates, but more importantly, he is safe and he is there. And he is in real time talking to folks. One of the ladies he spoke with, I described her situation, how she was in the bathroom as chaos was unfolding. This is what she had to say.
Minutes, okay? Maybe 5 minutes, okay? And all this stuff would happen and somebody was shooting. Okay, so at the end of the day, I'm glad that we had to stay in that bathroom because, you know, this is crazy. This is a family event. And why would someone come and ruin something like that, especially for the children, you know? So now we're just on our way. They canceled everything and we have to go home. I don't know if they subdued the guy or if he got away. I don't know. But this is ridiculous.
Now tell me what was the first thing you did when you heard of gunshots. You tell me.
I'm in the bathroom. I didn't come out. I stayed in there with my grandchildren. And then my daughter-in-law came in too. So we just stayed there for about 10 minutes or maybe 10, 15 minutes, you know, until we knew that it was safe to come out. So it's just unfortunate. We do this every year and never a problem. Never a problem. So I hope they catch the person and I hope everybody's safe. And yeah.
How scary was this moment?
Very scary. Everybody's traumatized. We come out and people are on the floor in the restaurant, you know, they're crying, the children are shaking, you know, parents are hoovering over their children. This is ridiculous. This is not something that you want to experience, you know, especially at a family event. Naughty of that person, very naughty, you know. No presents for you this year. Mm-hmm.
Are you a Concord resident?
Yes, I am.
And so you've been coming here for years?
Yes, absolutely,
And
absolutely.
How does it make you feel to know that?
You're just not really safe anymore. You know, that's what it boils down to. You know, and I'm not sure if it's in reference to a lot of the economical stress that's been going on and, you know, it's kind of spilling out, but it's just, this has really been horrific. I don't even want to go to another event, you know.
You said you were in the bathroom. What did it sound like?
It's just like people screaming and running, you know. I didn't hear the actual gunshot, okay, but you hear them, it's someone shooting and everybody's running, okay. They said don't come out the bathroom, okay, so I wasn't coming out the bathroom. Yeah.
What was the restaurant you was in?
The pizza shop. I can't even think of the name right over here. It's a pizza shop. Sorry.
Have you ever been in anything like it?
Never in my life.
Seems like a movie.
Oh, man, it's just horrible. It's like a nightmare. I've never ever in my life experienced anything like this. Now let me say something. Back in the 70s, early 60s, 70s, they might have had the police going through, because I'm from up north, and you know, they might have had the police clear the streets, but I mean just like after that, you know, I've never experienced in my whole life, like, you know, up until, you know, today. And I've worked in, you know, dangerous, you know, positions with juvenile justice and, you know, things of that nature too. So I'm just saying, it's just really horrible. You know, the residents don't feel safe, and that's the bottom line. It's not what do you do? What can you do? You know, you get one bad apple, you know, and hopefully that person is taken into custody and, you know, they're put away, that's all.
You know, you've talked about it a little bit there. You've had 30, 45 minutes now to process it. What kind of emotions are going through your head right now?
The what if emotions, you know, of losing someone to someone else's recklessness. And, you know, it could be a mental health issue, we don't know. But I have small children out here, my grandchildren, my daughter-in-law, you know, just ruining the family fun. My emotions are all over the place, you know, very much all over the place.
What was your name now?
I'm Teresa Harris.
Can you spell it?
Oh, Teresa Harris.
And Harris, H-A-R-R.
Yes.
Yeah, I got none of it.
Yeah.
Thank you,
So,
ma'am.
all right.
Thank you, Teresa. I really appreciate your
You're
time.
quite welcome.
Again, Pierre talking to numerous people there who were at this Christmas tree lighting. This lady said that she was at a restaurant using the bathroom, and she noticed folks there on the ground hiding just because of hearing gunshots or hearing about gunshots. And folks running away, trying to get the safety, a very, very scary situation. Do want to point out, and thank you to Jeff for passing this information along to me, there is expected to be a parade tomorrow in Concord. So it's unclear if the parade will actually happen. in light of this situation. So, and I'm turning around, just making sure. Okay, that looks like a live shot of the staging area. Let's take you to the staging area. This is the staging area. Pierre, excellent photojournalist for us here at WCNC Charlotte, has been all over the place at the scene talking to folks, and now he is at the staging area. That's Cabarrus County Sheriff's Office vehicle. We're expected to hear from law enforcement officials at some point tonight. We'll have that for you here on WCNC Plus. And obviously we'll have more on WCNC Charlotte on the TV side of things as well. But again, you see that yellow tape on near those vehicles. It shows you the area that they have taped off. And it's still limited information on the exact investigation of who they're looking for, if they're looking for anybody, if somebody's in custody, how many people were shot. So still some questions that we are looking to find out. Hopefully we'll be able to answer those questions for you tonight. If not, we will continue to get you those latest updates on WCNC Plus inside our mobile app. Just to recap, City of Concord posted on X that there was a shooting at the annual tree lighting ceremony just before 7:30, and that event was canceled. And they, at the time, were asking folks, and still are asking folks, if you happen to stumble across this area, to seek alternate routes as that investigation continues. City of Concord asking for people, look, if you know anything, call Concord Police, 704-920-5027. Also, too, if you have any pictures, if you have any video, send it to us, 704-329-3600. Again, that number is 704-329-3600. If you have any video, pictures, please send it to us. It will help us tell that story. We are going to take another quick break. We'll be back here in 2 minutes. On the other side of the break, we'll have more on this breaking news story in downtown Concord, shooting there at the Concord Christmas tree lighting. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturdivant. We are approaching the top of the hour. I just want to recap you a shooting in downtown Concord at the Christmas tree lighting. We got word about it just after 7:30 p.m. From WCNC Charlotte's Pierre Simmons. He was there. I want to say he was there on scene. He was there at the event, covering the event. It turned into a crime scene. Pierre was there, informed us, according to the City of Concord, the shooting happened just before 7:30. Limited details. They did say, hey, the event was canceled. And they're asking people, if you're driving through the area, find alternate routes. And they're asking for people, if you know any information, to call Concord Police at 704-920-5027. But again, chaos unfolding there in downtown Concord, as Pierre told us one person was hurt in the shooting. Again, it's still unclear if there are more people that were injured, if there is a suspect in custody, if they're looking for a person or people of interest in this shooting. Again, some questions that we are still looking for answers. This right here, you're taking a live look. This is outside of where the shooting took place. Is near it is a media staging area where you see sheriff's office, the Cabarrus County Sheriff's deputies' vehicles, Concord Police there on the scene. We're expected to hear from police at any moment now. We are keeping an eye out for that. Again, throughout the night, we've heard from several people who were there at the event, who expressed their frustration, who also expressed their sadness, their fears. This is a scary situation for them. One woman describing hearing gunshots. Another woman said she was at a nearby restaurant using the bathroom. She was there at the event. She had a Christmas sweatshirt on. She had a Santa hat on. And she had to stay in the bathroom of that restaurant until things were clear. But she said that people were on the ground trying to get the safety. There are folks running, obviously, trying to get the safety. One man described people running, some falling, trying to get the safety. Again, this is a family-friendly event where small kids were there, young children were there, people of all ages were there looking to usher in the holidays. There is a parade scheduled for Concord tomorrow, a holiday parade. It is still unclear. Again, this is still very early in this investigation, if that parade will actually happen. So a lot of things to sort out tonight, as it looks like investigators are going to be there through the night trying to piece together what exactly happened. As again, a shooting there in downtown Concord at the Christmas tree lighting, an annual tradition for families. And thank you for hanging with us here on WCNC Plus Live Impact News as we continue to update you here on that shooting. We will continue to update you here on WCNC Plus and on our digital platforms. We'll see you at 11 o'clock on the TV side of things, and also here you can watch it on WCNC Plus. Stick with us as we continue to bring you updates. But for now, have a great night.